Pisces.
Hello Pisces, this is your May forecast for 2014, and yes, it is another big month just like April. We still have that grand square working with us. We're kind of in a hangover mode from April into May, and if you're listening to this on the April end of this forecast, well, then you're probably already smack in the middle of it all, and do know it's going to carry over a little bit into May. So let me put it this way, you're like the uterus of the universe. You know, we're in labor, there's contractions, and then we got birth. And sure, that can be a little, not necessarily painful, but we know we got to give it that push and shove. And then comes the celebration. And that's what I want to focus on. And that's what I want you to focus on as well. Now, what are all these good things that are going to come from it, and which areas in your life are going to be affected by it? Well, we know your 2nd and 8th house is lit up here. That's 2 of these points in the square. That is Uranus and Mars. The other extension we have here is Pluto and Jupiter. So they're all big players, and they're all very dynamic, and they have the power to turn your life around just like that, but in a good way. When certain doors shut, up comes the new ones. And I think most of you, if you're honest with yourself, you know exactly probably where most of this is going to be coming from as far as the changes or the shift. You know, the whole planet now is birthing itself within the same energetic fields. So these new dimensions here, well, everybody's going to feel it. It's like the tectonic plates. They will build energy, and then out they go there with Mars, Uranus. And then we got Pluto, which is that inner eruption that is within ourselves, as it is with Mother Earth too, when she erupts and lets go. And in big ways, because Pluto is powerful, Jupiter is immense. So that is one eruption, and then the shifts in the Earth or within our body too. So the major shift with Mars Uranus, that's your financial house, is now going to come into what I'd like to say, what dreams can hold true. Now, exciting, yes. Unexpected, but then when the day arrives, it will feel like it was unexpected. So Uranus now, here in your 2nd house, has been there for a while. And yes, you have work, yes, you have to wait, but where is it? When is it coming? Right? That's why we want Mars to come there. We want Mars to trigger it, right? Something's got to trigger it. It won't help. Now, the last few months, ever since December, Mars has been going through your 8th house. That's other people's money. You know, so that could be for who you work for. You know, maybe there's bonuses, commissions, whatnot coming your way. But this Mars is having you focused on how you could also build and expand your own financial field. And so that's the 2 areas. The other 2 areas, well, that has everything to do with your own creativity, self-expression. There's joy and there's leisure, and Jupiter here is wanting to expand this area so you can have fun with what it is you do. So labor isn't labor. This is you being creative, coming out with it. And then Pluto here, see, Pluto, we always feel, yeah, that can be a little heavy, could be a little controlling, but Pluto is the point of transformation, and it's out towards the world. It's within groups and organizations, and your friends are seeing that you are transforming. And what Jupiter is doing here in this opposition is actually casting light onto it, okay? So it's not a negative that it's coming from the opposite polar. It's actually lighting it. And where is it lighting it from? It's coming from the depth within. Your talent, skill, and creativity now wanting to grow here, so Pluto can take that transformation out into the world, out into space. I'd like to say space because it is ruled by Uranus, which rules the internet and the web, and Pluto has a powerful impact. Now, how is that going to impact you? Because now Pluto is square your income house, and it's also square your royalties and commissions. So you might think, well, that's a tight squeeze, you know. And yes, it is a tight squeeze because you're not born yet. You know, we're birthing this. So yes, it is maybe a very tight birthing process, but what it's doing, it's squeezing it so that once it comes out, the impact is humongous, it's big. Pluto and Uranus here, sure, I'm seeing that it can have a possibility of doing you really well, you know, so that you won't have the same financial problems as you had in the past. You know, you as a creative Pisces, you know, money has never really been a big thing with you anyway, as long as you had enough. Your income, your sense of wealth would be when you were free to create. And maybe this is why, you know, it always hasn't been that much money for you. But see, Jupiter is saying you're going to get paid back for your talents, you know. Put them out there. Do something about it. Dare to. Don't hold back. And so now all of this is coming together as a synergy. So instead of looking at it 4 points spaced out, we want to look how they come in towards the center and how they merge, rise, ascend, become one. And when we put all of those energies together, that's you lifting your kundalini up and through the crown chakra. So those of you who are brave, you will get it. If you hold back, well, you'll get a little less, and you might still feel some of that squeeze. So be brave. Jupiter is wanting you to trust, to have faith, to expand, and have fun. And when you have fun, that is passion. And money will always follow where your passion goes, okay? When you really, really believe in what it is you do, Pisces. So let's take a look at, now we've had Venus in your first house here in April, so beautiful time for you. That's, you know, coming up here in your rising sign. Just makes you more attractive, more beautiful, more radiant. You know, it would be beautiful to have Venus rising, you know, in a natal chart. You'd have it with you for the rest of the life. But for now here, you've had it through April. Now it's going to be moving very early, which is May 3rd, into your second house of finances. And this is where it's going to get a little exciting, because as the square is standing right now, it's just standing, and we're waiting for triggers, okay? Now, when Venus comes up to Uranus here in your second house, that is a trigger. The date for that is May 15th, okay? But we're going to have a little things happening between now and the 15th. So it's not quite ready, but this is when you can expect something now to push forward. On May 4th, we have the Sun and Pluto. They are beautifully aligned with a golden beam here, and that will be for you between your 11th and also your 3rd house. So communication, what you communicate, how you communicate, whatever that is really, really good. It's empowering. And you might get a little heads up of what's coming a little bit later in the month, especially because on the 6th, that will be validated or verified when the Sun also connects with your income house and Uranus. So, you know, it's like this very first week of the month is already very good. It's excellent. Then comes a little, I won't say push and shove, but here we go. There's an opposition between Venus and Mars. Now, Mars is in that 8th house, opposing Uranus. Venus is coming in. But before that conjunction happens, the key in the door, so to speak, there's going to be some discussions. Trying to figure out what is fair, what is enough, what is not enough. When Venus is in the house it rules, well, it's looking at the money aspect of something. So there might be a negotiation. And you're going to have to stand your grounds, because it has to do with also commissions or bonuses, and you want to know that you're going to get your fair share of it. Then we have Mercury and Neptune here on the very same day when this is being spoken about. Might be a little cloudy, okay? And when Neptune isn't clear, that miscommunication can cause a little disturbance. But then I'd say address it. On the 12th, Mercury and Mars are going to communicate really well. For you, this will be in the area of your third house. So it's powerful. Mercury rules this house, so you're strong. You're stronger than the opposite side, unless they're a Pisces too. And you have Mars with you on this day to give you courage to be direct, courage to approach and ask the right questions to clarify if there was any misunderstanding there on the 11th. And I think this is good. If you're wise, you will take that talk, because if you don't, it's going to come up on its own. But then we're going to have a little issue. It's going to be a little sensitive, because this very same Venus is going to square up on Pluto. And so that's never a good thing. They don't like to be at odds with each other. Venus rules money, but when it's not about love, Venus reduces to, no, Venus is about love, but when it's not about love, it reduces to money. And then when we have money square Pluto, well then, you know, a little tricky there. So I would say be open, be blunt, have faith, and be direct this month without being trigger happy. And I have to mention that, and I've mentioned it to a few of the others here too in these readings, because Mars is so antsy now to get up and going, and with the pressure from Uranus and Pluto and then Jupiter, it's like, what more can we take now? You know, that tight squeeze, like I was saying. Well, when it gets challenged, it might just want to react just like that. But be careful not to, because what you might feel is a little unsettling there between the 11th and the 14th. Well, lo and behold, right behind it comes great news on the 15th. So if you can just hold a low key, wait for the messages, excuse me, the messages that are coming to you on the 15th, which is Mercury with great communication from Venus, plus Mercury is going to also have great communication with Uranus. That's the surprise factor that, oh my goodness, it worked out, and maybe all on its own without having to be challenged. So you will be tested on the way this is being received on the 15th. And you know, it's a little extra sensitive these days, 14th, 15th. Why? Because we have that full moon on the 14th. And it's going to be a little bit of a serious moon. It's in the sign of Scorpio, so we feel it deeply. And being in the sign of Scorpio here for you, it's in the 9th house of justice, of what is fair and what's not fair. And it's Jupiter inspired. So, you know, it's like now you have this whole situation that just took place the days before, but then this Saturn can really ground something, and this full moon can bring to you the very things that you fought for or had faith in. Even when it didn't look like it was working out, you still carried faith. And so the universe right now is wanting to bring this forward and give you a little bonus on its own. The 20th, we have the sun moving into Gemini. For you, this area is the 4th house, and I'm a little bit excited about that, because you also have the new moon in this area this month, and the new moon is always new beginnings, intentions to be put down. And so your intentions are going to all be about your home, where you live, how you live, maybe dreaming about a new place and so forth. And now having the sun moving into this area too might just bring things to the forefront where you can start acting upon or researching this area. Then we have the 24th, Jupiter and Saturn. They are beautifully aligned in a golden trine. So this goes to show that where Jupiter has been challenged in this big square, now Saturn's taking hold of it. See, we're breaking up, we're breaking away from the square. And Saturn is saying, you've done a great job. I'm going to give you an anchor here because you've stuck to your vision and you've been true, you know, and you've been honest and you've been faithful and loyal. So I'm going to give you this. I'm going to anchor this dream here. And where is it going to anchor it? It's where you have Jupiter. And Jupiter for you here right now is also aligning here with your 5th house and also your 2nd house. So if it's anchoring your vision, which is the 5th house creativity, maybe even a new business that you're wanting to start, for example. 5th house has to do with your talents, your skills. So if you're putting yourself out to expand this area, Saturn is going to support that. It will be good for you. And then, of course, Jupiter on the other end, now being anchored, is angling into that 2nd house of income. So you can see that Uranus might do a twist and a turn to open up this area for you as well. So a lot of great stuff. Some of it is a continuation of April because we're not done yet in May, but May will bring, you know, conclusions and deliver. So this is going to be quite exciting to see now in June just how, you know, you're going to start up as the grand square is moving away. We will still have Mars. Mars is retrograde, you know, so it's going to have to go back over this point again. So we're not fully out of it, but Jupiter will move out. So we'll just have a T-square next time. We're not going to have a grand square. So 28th, we have great unexpected news coming in, and then we have Venus, which is going to move into Taurus, and it loves being in Taurus. You know, it rules Taurus. This is your 3rd house for communication, short distance travel, so you might want to get out and about, maybe weekend short trips or whatnot. And the same day, here 29th, Mercury also is changing signs, so it's going to move into Cancer out of Gemini, and it will be in your creative house for the month of June, which it loves to be, because now you can, you know, really get in there and communicate about what it is you've been working on, and you might start showing this out towards the world, and very energetic. The Sun receiving a beautiful golden beam to Mars. So you're ending this month with a lot of energy, you know, so you're ready to shoot into June, starting off here summer on maybe one of the best notes you could have had now for a long time. You've been processing the last 6 months, Pisces, but you've been doing good, and I know you're loving it, and that's what I love about it. So you listen to your moon and your rising sign, because this square that's active right now will be in other areas, not your 2nd and 8th house, 5th and 11th. It'll be in other areas. So you might get a little revelation on what is birthing itself in those areas for you. And I'll see you here next month.